If not, that's not the worst thing that'll happen. Get that Brandon out of here.
No, I need it. I'm gonna be low
No,
energy.
but I'm saying get it out of here. I don't want. No, you keep it on the table right there, like where you had it, but they won't see it. But I don't want people to see.
What happens when I pick it up to drink it?
We'll just blur your face to make it extremely obvious. It's not regulated. Okay, you ready? Don't look at my laptop, okay? Because I have the secret stuff on here.
Okay.
Welcome back to IdleTalk. Today we're mic'd up again, little furry mics.
What's up?
Just little hamster ball mics. Today, this is our Spider-Man
mic.
Our Spider-Man episode. Okay, so if you have not watched,
real quick,
Across?
I'm being Miles for Halloween. I forgot.
Really?
Yeah. Like I'm getting a whole professional suit made and everything. I'm gonna really be Miles, and I have an afro now.
Yeah.
So I could actually
You could pull it.
I'm not bald, guys. I just wear a hat.
Hairline reveal.
No,
Ready?
I'm not taking my hat off. It's a mess. But I do have hair.
See, I told Jazabelle because next week we have an episode with her.
Yeah.
I did 2 parts, one in the gym and then one in her house. And
what do you mean in one of the gym? Like to-go mics?
To-go mics
around?
in the gym,
That's
like talking.
Yeah.
I did a tutorial for this girl who commented on one of my TikToks. She was like, "Hey, I'm like leaning on one side a lot more on my squats than I do on the other side."
So you did it.
So I did with Jazabelle. I'm like, Jazabelle
smart,
got that same
smart.
problem. Don't bitch. I'm like, so this is how we fix it for you, okay? So we did that.
I just realized I can't see shit. Keep going.
Wait, where are you going?
I'm just gonna grab my glasses. You're fine.
So
I realized I couldn't see it. I was like, why is everything so fucking blurry? I was like, why is the world blurry? Because I didn't have my glasses on.
It's his fucking secret identity. Fucking.
I'm Spider-Man.
Can you stop tilting the table? Okay. Back to work. Was it Across the Spider-Verse? Was this movie? Yes, yeah. Into the Spider-Verse was the first movie.
No, you're right.
Across is the second movie. It's confusing as fuck.
And then the third one
and then Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Across the Spider-Verse today. So spoilers.
Yeah,
we waited a couple of, 2 weeks, a week or so-ish to talk about it. Fabian's seen it twice. I've seen it 4 times.
Yep. I've seen a lot of videos on it too.
Yeah. So I think
I liked it so much that I was like, I want to keep watching stuff about it. So I like one video on TikTok. My whole For You page is about Spider-Man. I love it. I was like, what happened?
I love it though. Ever since I watched it that first night, I was like, I was getting I think because your phone be listening to shit.
Yeah, I think so, bro.
Miles.
I liked one. I like one post about like Miles's the connections between things I missed, and I was like, oh, that's cool. On my whole For You, every time I scroll,
I've been learning
Spider-Man.
But I've been learning a lot about it, you know. So I think
same.
we're TikTok University. I can't believe the old meme used to be YouTube University. Like, oh, you learn everything on YouTube now.
Now TikTok. TikTok be good.
And it'd be good as fuck.
Tips and tricks and shit. So.
Okay. So speaking about watching the movie, how was your theater experience? The times you went.
The first time I went alone, I went on a opening night type. It was the day of.
Like Thursday at 8 p.m. or something.
No. It was the day of, not the night of.
So in the morning.
Yeah. Because I was because I had work at night, so I want to watch it before I go to work.
Well, so you was
I was hyped. Yeah, I was hyped as hell for that film. But
I said I woke up early for this.
I didn't have anyone to go with, so I went by myself. And yeah, there was kids yelling and stuff, but I was toned all. I was just eating popcorn, watching, bro.
Yeah.
I was watching, and the second time I went out with all my guys from work, and it was a much better experience because some of them watched it, some of them didn't. So a lot of the stuff that I was like, oh, I know that's gonna pay off later, and I cried both times, by the way.
Bro,
I tried my best to not cry the second time because I was with all my boys, and I was like, yo, you cry or you gonna little bitch? You gonna little bitch to everybody, bro? Don't cry.
And then sobbing, you're like, fuck.
And then the scene with his mom and him again. Anytime that scene between the two of them where she's like, hey, you're not grounded anymore type shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it had me balling. I was like, ah, in the theater. And I was like, stop crying, bro.
The first time you were like, oh, that's sweet. The second time you knew it was coming. And you're like,
no,
damn,
it was actually the
worst.
The first time I was I uncontrollably sobbing. And then the second time I was like, hold this shit in, bro.
You was fighting back.
Hold it, bro.
You was fighting back.
But yeah, that scene is great. But viewing experience, I think, the first time it was more of a excitement, entertainment, and then the ending really hit. I was like, wow, it had me hooked. So, and then the second time around, it was more catching things I didn't catch the first time around, and like seeing all the things that like they like were referencing to the ending or from the other films and things like that I wasn't catching, that I'm like, oh, now I see all.
You know that monologue in the beginning
between
Gwen, the intro, like Gwen's intro, the whole thing. Yeah, I'm like, that monologue is set like she's like recounting what happened.
What happened in the first film?
No, what happened in the second film, in the one we just watched, because she's like, I had a friend, then I hurt him. She's drumming and shit.
I thought it was talking about the first movie.
I thought it was talking about the first movie too. Then I saw it like the third time, and I was like,
she must be talking about
she's talking about the shit that she's about to do to my boy Miles in this whole movie. Like, so it's shit like that you be catching.
Yeah, okay? We'll get to it.
So for me, I think the first night that I went with Christian.
Yeah.
And I told you earlier, I was like, the Alamo kind of spoils the ending for you, where they bring you the check like 30 minutes before the movie ends. Sucks. So now inside your head, I think I'm the only one that like is self-aware enough to notice, right? Because everybody was so like in the film, like edge on their seats at that point, and then I was like, damn, we in the last act right now.
Yeah.
I was like, this feels like we got mad movie left.
Like, that sucks, because for me, when I watched the ending, I was like, oh, this movie, like I didn't know we was already 2 hours in, and I knew the movie was 2 hours, 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much time has passed, so I'm sitting there like, oh, it's been an hour. We about to hit the climax of the film. We got another hour left. We about to hit everything, and then it hit me with a go like to be continued, and I was like, what?
Gwen Stacy's intro was like 25 minutes.
Yeah, but
like,
I was so entertained throughout the whole film that I never had like downtime to like look at my phone and be like, damn, it's been this long.
Yeah. Like, you shouldn't be looking at your phone.
I mean, some movies are boring. There's times where some films, there's some times where like there's downtime and like there's nothing happening, and there's times where you'll pick up the phone, but like, oh, it's this time, and then put it down. I never picked my phone up during the film, so I never noticed how long I was sitting there for. So when the ending came, I didn't get a check. Right, I did order food.
You pre-swiped. You're like, I got your receipt. Same thing.
Exactly. And then the AMC brings it to you during the film. And so when it hit me, I was like, what? And I looked at the time and I was like, it's been 2.5 hours. I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, I didn't know. So that must suck.
I was like, damn, how we gonna solve this in 30 minutes, bro? And then we did it.
I was like, yo, when he was on that bag, and all that shit was happening, I was like, oh shit, and he hit him with that look, you don't even know what about to happen, dog. I'm about to cook you. God. And then it stops, and I was like, what? I was like, no way, bro.
He was like taking what he learned from the second Peter we meet in the first movie, where like, don't watch the mouth or the eyes, watch the hands.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same tactic that he's using.
Call back to that, which is pretty cool. So let's talk about Gwen Stacy, right? She had like a intro before the actual movie actually started.
Yeah.
So she had like this 25-minute like
explaining
piece, her life, her story so far.
Like what happened after the last film, what the fuck.
Giving her the backstory that we wanted in the first movie.
Film,
I liked it. The consensus on the internet is 50-50. They hated that.
Yeah, people don't like Gwen for some reason.
I don't know.
No, I know for what reason.
I don't know why.
I know why people don't like Gwen.
Well, we could talk about that right now.
I know why people don't like Gwen.
So, before we get into that, I dropped a mini
Yeah.
about the like who is Spider-Man, right? The symbolism behind Spider-Man, because it is Stan Lee's like philosophy when he first made the character. Like
anyone
being fully masked up means that anybody could be Spider-Man.
Yep.
Any person, any animal, like the horse that we saw in this movie, the cat, Spider-Ham. Shout out to him.
Spider Plush is my favorite. Shout out to him.
Chibi Spider-Man. That's his official. Yeah.
The little plush guy.
Oh my god. That TikTok I sent you.
Yeah, dude. The fact that I didn't notice he was in the film the first time around, and then I watched it the second time around, I was like, he is in it. I was like, I didn't see him ever. And same with the Lego Spider-Man.
Yeah, Lego Spider-Man.
He's on top of the little car. I didn't notice that the first time.
When they leave, Miles is lucky. Fucking Miguel's best operative was not there, bro.
He was too small.
He's lucky. He's like, Peter, you're one of our best. He's lucky he went with the parked car somewhere. Because if not, it would have been over for him, bro.
Probably.
But Gwen, back to Gwen.
Yeah.
So on the internet, a lot of people are identifying with Gwen, especially the trans community. They're like, it's cool that she's trans, right? It's cool that she has a flag in her room. It's cool that her dad has a like little patch on his like police uniform, and that in our world, right? Because that's like fiction over there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
In our world, only people with like kids like would wear something like that. Like people who are directly in that community would wear something like that. It's not traditionally seen. Not traditionally seen that allies.
Parents are allies just to be allies.
Just to be allies.
Usually
it's really
for a reason.
Yeah, it's usually
you're
right. You're affected by that.
You're right.
And it's something that your child goes through, whatever, right? And so they're associating with Gwen Stacy's version of Spider-Woman. Apparently, in the credits, it's called she's Ghost Spider. Whatever that means. I was doing...
Really?
Yeah.
They use her comic name?
Yeah. She's Ghost Spider or something.
Because in the movie, they always called her Spider-Woman. And
Yeah.
I was like, I guess she's Spider-Woman. Okay.
Yeah, but when I was doing the list for later...
That's cool. I didn't notice that.
It's Ghost Spider, but I just put Gwen Stacy Spider-Man for later.
Well, because she has 3 names. She has Spider-Woman, Spider-Gwen, and then Ghost Spider.
Yeah.
But in the comics, all of her titles are called Spider-Gwen. Like the
comic
Spider-Man.
name. Yeah.
It's Spider-Gwen. But in the comic, everyone calls her Ghost Spider or Spider-Woman. So that's why when in the film they kept referring to her as Spider-Woman, I was like, okay, they're using Spider-Woman. They won't use Ghost Spider. So that's weird that they put it in the credits.
No, in the credits it says like...
That's weird because
I
didn't notice that either. Yeah.
Look up the cast, it says Ghost Spider and it says Haley.
I like her suit, bro.
Her suit is tough.
Her
but
suit is tough.
I don't think it's a big deal for anybody to compare themselves to a Spider-Man that they feel closely identified with.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't think Stan Lee is turning over in his grave if an entire community thinks that a version of his character is transgender or not. Yeah. So, to me, it doesn't affect me. Let them do whatever they want. Yeah. If they feel that connection, which I love that connection, right? If you can establish a connection with a form of media or a fictional piece, whether it be a poem, a story, a movie, whatever, if you can form a connection with that's a lifelong connection that you build, right? Yeah. And that's something that you are going to want to share with people you know, with your own kids or your own things, your own siblings, right? Because I had a fondness of Star Wars, and I remember showing Empire Strikes Back to my sister, and then the reveal of Darth Vader being Luke's father, and then she's like, "What the fuck? What?"
No,
it's
I
like
get that.
it's like that. Those moments, like, I think are super critical to just our human experience, like being able to share something with someone for the first time, and something that you can relate to in that way. I think it's super like beautiful in that way.
And I like that now that whether she is trans or not, that trans kids can now look up to it.
A spider person.
A spider person and be like, oh, that's my
awesome.
spider person.
Yeah.
Because it's the same feeling I had when I was very young and watched like the first Tobey Maguire film, and I was like, oh, Spider-Man is so cool, and he became like my favorite superhero. And then like when I was like entering high school, I think is when they released Miles, and I was like, "Nah, way!" And he became my spider. He became my spider person forever. He's always been my favorite since then. So if people in that community can relate to her, whether she is trans or not, it's great because in the film it seems like you said there is a lot of like references that she is trans, which in the comic book she isn't. There is no reference of her being trans, but she could either, again, it's a different universe. They could do whatever they want with Gwen. Cause,
it could be a whole universe that are allies no matter what. Like, Big Bitch could be gone.
It could be a universe where she is trans, and that's perfectly fine. Because they changed Spider-Man India completely. It's like it's a completely different version of Spider-Man India in that film. That
I'm glad we're establishing that he's Spider-Man India, because I wrote down his name, and I was going to try
to say.
I was going to try to pronounce it, but we're going to reference that.
I'll butcher it, and I don't want to be like rude. So I just say Spider-Man India. In the comics, she isn't trans, but if in this universe they make her trans, that's fine with me. I don't care.
At this point of just like seeing so many negative comments of like about that, because it's not even said that she is or isn't, right? Yeah. In my head canon, I'm like, I hope they just be like, yeah, she is.
She is, yeah.
Right? Just to piss off so many people.
Like, who cares, bro? It's
like,
not that big of a deal.
I'm like, just be upset. Like, I don't care anymore.
And there's also a lot of turmoil about the fact that she's a white woman dating a Hispanic black man, and I've heard so many arguments. I'm like, why does it matter, bro? Like, let the kid love
colonizer, bro.
Yeah, like,
stop colonizing, yo.
Let
when
Miles
she called,
be with
when she called Miles' mom and dad by their first name, bro,
I knew
it was clip for her.
I know,
bro.
that was wild. I
was
like,
what's crazy?
Girl, I was like, that's a Spanish mom. Are you nuts?
The only time I picked up on like the foreshadowing was in my second time when Miles, his dad, and his mom are like with the counselor. Yeah. And then his dad says, kids these days. Like, he's like always abbreviating and calling people by their first names.
Yeah.
He's like, and then the mom is like, we hate that.
Yeah.
And then
because you know his homie that's in the bedroom wearing his shoes. That's his homie that calls his parents by their first names. And he's like, I hate that. And then Gwen does it. And I'm like, Gwen, no!
Gwen does it off rip.
I was like, why would you do that?
And she was like, oh, you're using our first names. Oh my god. So, speaking of Miles Morales, I want you to think about this. We've had 3 live action versions of Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
So
I thought
Tobey
you meant
Maguire.
Miles. Yeah.
No, Tobey Maguire.
Yep.
Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland Spider-Man. Tobey is the oldest Spider-Man.
Yep.
Andrew is like the middle, and then Tom is the youngest Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But if you were to adapt a live-action version of Miles Morales to join either of those, because again, we have the PS4 Spider-Man that has a Miles with him, right?
That's
and
Miles.
they could coexist together, right? You don't have to die, Peter.
There was a reason why they didn't bring that guy to Spider-Verse. He's on another level, bro. His Miles is nuts. As much as people are like, yo, this Miles is so good, bro. PS4 Miles is on another level, dude. That man is like cracked out with his abilities.
With his abilities.
Same with
Peter.
With the Peter.
Yeah.
Which, where the hell was he? They showed him for a scene.
They showed him in the poster, I think.
But he was also in that scene where they're like, this video game character, this video game character, and he's like there, and I'm like, what are you doing here? Where's your Miles at? You just didn't invite him? He was like, bro.
This is what I think. This is what I think about that specifically. Before I get back to my question, I think that version of Insomniac Spider-Man is PS4
before PS5.
No, before Miles' arc that he gets on the thing.
I thought it was like when he went to New York, he was actually in the secret society of the Spider. Like he was there while Miles was protecting New York in his video game.
Oh,
like when Spider-Man's like, I'm gonna be out to a trip. You gotta take care of New York.
That makes more sense.
I was like, this must be when he dipped to the Spider Society, but I don't know. It's just.
And you know what I think? I think the reason he's there, and he probably has a Miles, right?
Yeah.
And Miguel probably knows. Right?
Yeah.
But I think he's like, oh no, he's not that good at stuff. He's not ready. But
there's also
to protect his Miles, right? He's not, because he knows what they're about to do with that Miles, right? He's like, I don't want them to do my Miles.
If you notice, Miguel didn't recruit any Miles. There's plenty of Miles in the in Spider-Verse. Like there's like millions of different versions of Miles. Like there's millions of different versions of Peter. And there was no Miles. They had 0 Miles in that Spider Society, and I was like,
That chokeslam felt kind of personal.
I was like, Miguel, what you doing, bro?
That shit felt kind of racially motivated.
You got one black person, and she's just always listening to you. That's crazy, bro.
That's crazy. No, Spider-Bite is
Oh, I guess you're right. Spider-Bite.
Yeah.
Spider-Bite, Hobie, and
Hobie.
And Spider-Woman.
But Hobie's name is not Miles. I think it's just, he's like, Miles Morales?
No, yeah. Hobie's name is Hobie.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Brown, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he's
might be like a Miles
Punk.
thing.
Yeah.
He might hate Miles.
He must not just not like Miles, bro.
So he must have did something to him.
Yeah.
Okay, so out of those 3 versions of the live-action Spider-Man, who do you think deserves a Miles Morales live-action?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland?
Yeah.
You think Tom Holland deserves
100%.
it? So you want them to follow the PS4, PS5 storyline,
yes.
kind of pretty much.
I want them to follow Tom becoming an older version and a more experienced version of Spider-Man while meeting someone who just got bit by a spider and is now dealing with all the same problems that he had
Disney
to deal with.
shit, huh?
It's not Disney shit, but
That's some Disney
in the game,
storytelling.
they do it so, like the PS4 game.
Well, because Miles just turns 18 in the game, and Peter is like 25.
Peter is a lot more experienced.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and that's what I want to see. Like, if the next Tom Holland film is him in college and like redoing all the stuff that he had to like learn, but now he's by himself. He has no Stark. He has no Stark tech. It's just him, his suit, and his genius. I want them to develop him as an adult, because I'm so sick of seeing Peter Parker be a teenager. Like, let that story die. Let this man grow up. Like, I love Peter B. Parker because it's like, oh, he's older.
A grown man.
He's a grown man. He's married. He has a kid. That's where I want Peter to go. Peter doesn't have to be a teenager for the rest of his life, because every time he starts getting older, they reset him to be a teenager again, and they redo the same bullshit, the same high school bullshit, the same college bullshit, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of seeing him go to the same shit and constantly be like depressed. They constantly ruin his life. No matter how good Peter Parker has a life,
and everything.
And everything.
Shows,
and it
comics.
Sucks. Yeah, it sucks. Because it's like, let him grow up, let him be a better person, and then give all these like trivial like high school stuff to Miles. It makes sense. He's a teenager. Let him live all the stuff that you want to tell when it comes to high school, and let Peter deal with all the adult problems, like how do I raise a family while being Spider-Man? How do I pay bills while being broke?
Beat the fuck out of Kong, the Conqueror. Miles out here fighting like fucking Electro. He's like, handle that. I gotta go fucking save the whole world. Like,
so I want to see Tom Holland's journey into an adult version of Spider-Man, and then introduce a younger actor to be Miles, and then see Tom mentor
is
that
he
actor.
in college when Miles gets introduced, or like you want him out of college?
I want him
because Tom's getting a little older now.
Exactly.
So he's starting to not look like a teenager.
But that's why I want Tom. Because if you put Andrew or Tobey, they're already very established Spider-Man.
Which is I would love that story.
Older. Yeah, exactly. So it would make sense. But then it's like, how much can someone who's that old practically be in a suit and move around with someone who's really young?
Well, Andrew Garfield is not that old.
He's older. Isn't he older than Toby?
No.
I'm pretty sure he's older than Toby, bro.
No, he's not.
Andrew Garfield's old.
He's
dog.
like 37.
Like 40. That's old.
But Toby is like 45 at least.
That's old too. Hold on. Keep talking. I'm gonna search it up.
I think the perfect story, one we'll never get, is Toby passing the torch to Miles.
Andrew was 40, bro.
Oh, really? How old is Toby?
I'm about to search it out.
Toby's like 50.
He must be, bro.
He gotta be like 50.
He's 47, bro.
That's 50. That's 50.
So one's 40 and one's almost 50.
How old is Tom Holland?
Like 20-something?
I don't know. He's starting to look like an old piece of shit to me, bro.
Not really.
He's not. I don't think he's aging gracefully.
He's 27.
He looks like he's 30. He looks like he's 30. He looks like he's 30.
But that's
he doesn't look as young as he did in
30,
the first
30
Spider-Man.
is supposed to be the age of the PS4.
I know, but I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying. Okay. I think in a perfect world, Toby passes the torch off to a Miles Morales. Right? Perfect world.
His universe?
In his universe, yeah. And then we get like a separate, because remember Sonyverse MCU
is different
thing, right?
Absolutely.
They can coexist, right?
Yes,
we can
can.
get
We
we
can
can
have
get
two
3 Miles
yeah.
Morales.
We
Like
could
we can get
technically,
Andrew in the Venom verse because
Yeah.
he's supposed to be in that verse, right?
And Venom verse did show up in this film.
Exactly, which is nice tie-in. But I think we could get Toby
Yeah.
to pass the torch off, right?
Yeah,
As
we
an
can.
already established guy, he's like, hey, I want to live my life. I want to be happy. Like,
You know what we can do?
I don't want to kill nobody.
Since Toby is the oldest, right? And that guy who voices Miles really wants to be Miles for live action, make him live action Miles, but an older version of Miles.
Of like already like having
Like
some
already
years,
established
yeah.
Miles that Toby already
Okay.
trained. You could do that.
You could do
because
that.
that guy wants to be Miles
Yeah,
really
so bad, but yeah.
And it seems like it's not gonna work out for him.
He setting himself up for disappointment.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, follow your dreams. I hope he gets it. I hope.
Not
he
me.
gets-
I don't think we should
I hope
support
he gets-
everybody.
No, I hope he gets some version of that. Like I said, like I hope they give him something because you know how, for the longest time, Donald Glover wanted to be Spider-Man, and that's why Miles was created anyway.
Yeah.
And then they gave him the role as the Prowler. Then they gave him the role as
Somebody else.
they gave him the roles of as Miles in the animated series as the voice, and they gave him a bunch of Spider-Man roles after he just put it out into the world that he wanted to be Spider-Man. So I hope I forget his name, Shamik or something.
Yeah.
He gets something, right? Because he does
He's
a
got
good Miles.
he's got a whole trilogy
I
to
know
himself.
that's what I'm saying. He does a good ass voice of Miles.
Yeah,
So
but what if he's
if he
not a
wants
good
it-
actor? Like
he
like
he
what-
is though.
no,
Have
what-
you seen him in other films?
No.
He's really good
I
and
have
dope.
no idea who that guy is.
He's really good and dope.
But I feel like that show.
he doesn't look like
Miles.
Miles, and I think that's what the problem is that he doesn't physically look like Miles at all. He looks too old. He's too.
Fashion him. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna fashion him. I was big once, really big.
But he said he wants to drop weight to play it, to be appropriate.
He works in Hollywood where he can easily get a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Easily get a
the
nutritionist.
studio to pay,
get,
like, for
get all
shit,
of that,
like-
and he can get in shape. So I think if Donald Glover can go from just stating he wanted to be Spider-Man and get all these roles and all these little adjacent ass like things.
You know what I want? I want Gwen Stacy's voice actress to be
Gwen
Stacy.
I think she's too old. As fine as Haley Steinfeld is, bro. If we're
She
trying
could be an established
You're right.
Spider Woman.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think both those actors.
That's the hack, right?
I don't think
they're older. They're just established. They're more established Spider people.
I
at
just
that
think
point.
that both those voice actors are great in the roles, and if they do ever get like a cameo or a live action role, absolutely put them in the costume and give them a role. But as the main MCU universe characters, they're too old.
They're gonna be separate.
That's what I'm saying.
They're never gonna any other iteration of a Spider person most likely will not be like in the MCU
probably
for a long time.
Yeah.
Right? Sony will probably do its own thing because I don't know how they finessed those rights to keep it because they was down bad for a little bit.
Marvel was down bad when they sold.
And then when
Spider-Man.
Sony was down bad for a little bit, they were like, "Fuck, do we sell Spider-Man?"
They didn't sell it.
They were like, "Nah, let's keep that shit." So
smart, very smart. Because they still make mad bread.
The
off of
fortitude of that, I don't know. I would have probably folded, sold that shit back. But
yeah, I would want Tom going into college. You know what? I want Tom to meet Gwen in college. That'd be such a cool because there is no Gwen in the MCU. Basically, we don't really have. If we did meet her, I don't remember.
An MJ.
No, we have an MJ. It's just a different version of MJ.
It's just not her name, like Mary Jane.
It's a different version of MJ. So I would want Holland to be the Spider-Man teaching little Miles. But if we ever get like older, different versions, absolutely. Haley Steinfeld, Shamik. Put him in the suit. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
See him with like an Andrew Garfield
that movie
or a Toby.
would probably cost like $1 billion to make.
Probably.
With all the effects and all the people and all the spider suits and all that.
And you said you wanted Toby?
I wanted in a perfect world, Toby hands off the torch, right? He's
to Miles.
Yeah, to Miles, and then we have a little Miles, like, maybe like a one-off,
the reason
movie.
I wouldn't say Toby,
maybe like a Spider-Man 4. Right?
Yeah,
Toby just hands it off, and then that's its own conclusion, right? Ending like New York's in good hands, everything's good, and we don't need a continuation of that, right? That would be a perfect, like, to test the waters. I mean, the world is ready for Miles Morales live action, right?
for sure, yeah.
But maybe I don't think the studios are confident in that. But I think maybe one-offs, like Spider-Man 4, send off Toby with Miles. Miles has New York in his hands. Toby's good, blah, blah, blah. Happy ending, right? Perfect. That's the end of that trilogy that concluded, right? Maybe Andrew Garfield gets a movie or two if he gets a Miles, right?
If anything, I would rather pick Andrew to be Miles. To
have Miles.
Then, because Toby's world...
It's like so basic.
It's too bland.
It's like
bro.
basic and like
it's too bland for a Miles to live there.
But
like,
if it was a one-off
there's
movie,
no like really
perfect.
cool supervillains. The world isn't really established that there's more Marvel characters. It's just Spider-Man and his villains in New York. Unless they like expand Toby's universe and like, oh, this is what happened while we weren't around. Look at all these adventures he went on. Look at all these new villains that popped up. Then hell yeah. But current Toby, when I rewatch those films, I'm like, oh, it's such a grounded film, and I love them for it. But to me, it doesn't scream Spider-Man. Like, as much as people love those films, I watch those films, and I've been reading comic books most of my lives. I've seen so much Spider-Man material my whole life that, like, it seems so bland. Like, there's no, like, umph in it. Like,
it's just simply because of the time period.
Exactly what
the time
it is.
period
No
that
one
they
had
made it.
the money to be making comic book movies at the time. Like, the budget to
they
be
weren't that they weren't that like
they weren't as popular as they are.
Popular at the time.
So I understand. So unless they revamp that world and make it way cooler, no, I wouldn't.
No, I think I feel like it would. Like, you know, like
you think they would revamp it?
Because like, let's say that shit is set in like 2004, right?
Yeah.
And it's like,
but because when we saw him, he said like, oh, the last strongest villain I fought was an alien from space, which was Venom, which was his last film.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Well, what if he goes back to his time immediately after that, right? And
now it's different because he saved the villain. Like Norman Osborn.
Well, like Norman and Otto, and now let's say they
right,
advance the world, right?
Right?
They bring it back to a point. I mean, something's got to change,
You're
right?
You're right. Because if he brings all three of them back to their universe and all three of them are now alive, Otto's life would be different because now he's
not a crazy madman scientist, but he's still a scientist.
Goblin is also better now too.
Still a rich guy, still advancing science.
You know what? That would be cool to see. if we're getting the end of what was that Spider-Man movie with all three of them? Far From Home?
No Way Home.
No Way Home. So if we're getting No Way Home ending Toby to mentor Miles and they revamp everything, then
exactly.
absolutely.
That's what I'm thinking.
But if
I'm thinking we just close that story, like Toby passing the torch on to a Miles Morales, and I think just to test the waters, just so the studio gets some confidence of like, all right, we can flesh out a Miles Morales story. Let's do it, like live action. I think that'll be the perfect thing.
I fuck with that.
I fuck with it too. I would love Andrew to get like a trilogy with just with Miles too.
Yeah, though. I feel like his version of Spider-Man would click the most with a Miles because of how like
I think he's the one
and like
most
funny.
Yeah,
and he has a lot of tragedy, so it makes sense that a lot of the things that he's trying to teach him
tragedy, huh?
That I think out of all the live actions, I think he's lost the most people.
That's
like
crazy.
Out of the three of them, he's lost the most people. So. And even he says it like, oh, I went to a very dark place after I lost Gwen. So it'd be great to see that version of him trying to train a Spider-Man to be a better version than he is because he went to a dark place, right? So I feel like that would be the most interesting to see.
He was like, he stopped pulling his punches,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And that's scary because if you know in the comic books how strong Spider-Man really is nuts. He can go toe-to-toe with the Hulk in the comics. Yeah. He can blow for blow. He just always pulls his punches because if he doesn't, he'll kill most of the people he punches,
So let's get back into Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got this moral dilemma throughout the whole film. Between Miguel, which is Spider-Man 2099.
Yes.
And Miles Morales, right?
Why'd you say his full name, but you didn't say Miguel's full name?
I don't know his last name.
O'Hara? Yeah. It's a Mexican first name and an Irish last name.
I just feel like I need to...
Miguel O'Hara.
The racist versus the victim.
He's not racist, bro.
So, is Miguel right? Okay. Because he says that every Spider-Man needs to follow the series of canon events, which they call the tragic moments, the character building moments, right?
Yeah.
And he's saying that Miles You can't stop that. That has to happen. You need to let those happen. That's how we become spider people, right? So is Miguel right in that way?
No.
Or is he just a hater? Because think about this. In that
hater.
whole movie, we learn that Miles is an anomaly, right? Yes. He didn't deserve to be Spider-Man. Somebody brought a spider from a different dimension into his world, and then he happened to get bit. So
his version of Miles was never supposed to be Spider-Man.
Exactly. He was supposed to be a regular kid, not that crazy of a growth spurt, just a regular person. So does that mean that Miguel is now mad at Miles because he's an anomaly and that he doesn't have to follow the traditional canon? Is this something that can Miles write his own canon, and is that like one of the pillars of why Miguel is so aggressive and angry and like maybe jealous towards him? What do you think?
I think Miguel isn't telling the whole truth because when he explains the whole canon events, he says that because he broke his canon, the world that he was in collapsed. Yeah. Right? But then, and we get glimpses of that, right? So when he saves Spider-Man India's, like, what was it, like, police chief thing? Police captain, his world starts going to stuff, like, to shit. It starts, like,
disintegrating itself.
because it broke the canon. But there's a lot of other instances in this movie that people break canon and nothing happens. So where's the line where, like, you can break canon a little bit and nothing will happen, or if you break it too much, the world's like, nah, we're done, right? So where's the details that we're missing here? That what did he do to make the canon break? Because if you think about it, if Miles really is an anomaly, the moment he got bit, his world would have started collapsing. Because it's not a canon event,
Technically.
And vice versa. The other Miles, if he didn't get bit, wouldn't that have been a canon event? And if it didn't happen, wouldn't his world have collapsed also? But none of that happens.
Great questions. What I think is that the spider was going to bite a Miles.
Yes.
Right? Earth 42 Miles, probably, because that's where it came from.
Yeah.
But it came to Miles' Earth, and it's like, oh, I gotta find Miles. Yeah. And he goes and bites Miles. So I think maybe that didn't break the canon. Maybe that just spewed it off in a different direction. But then again, that goes back to like, why isn't any other Miles in the Spider Society? So now that, and like, what does he know?
I think
what is
lying.
He knowing about?
I think I think there's details that he's leaving out on purpose. He probably did something in that universe to break the canon to the point where it did break off and destroy the world. Yeah. There has to be something, because there is evidence that the world does collapse. It happens sometimes when you break the canon. But there's other instances that it doesn't.
I mean, all he did was replace himself. Like, correct. His version of himself died.
But that's what he said. I don't believe. He must have done more.
He must have killed him.
He must have done more, bro.
He must have killed him.
I don't know what he did, but he must have done more.
He must have killed that guy. He's like, I want your family, bro.
Because even during the...
I mean, because maybe that's the same thing as Kingpin from the first movie, where he wants to drag a version of his family.
Yeah, why didn't that break the canon either?
No, that did, and then they fixed it in that same movie.
Right.
You know,
right. I guess you're right.
So that, and then Miles was like, "Hey, I saved the multiverse," and he's like, "No, you didn't."
But also, like, during the canon events, and you're supposed to experience these tragic things, and you can't change them, right? And one of them, it's that the police captains will always die.
Yeah.
But then when Gwen's dad was like, "Oh, I quit," her world didn't collapse.
That we saw or not. What if that's just collapsing and then Gwen comes back and there's nothing?
But it didn't.
Yo, what if that would be the craziest thing ever?
Because she says it. She's like, "What do you mean you quit?" And he's like, like, I'm done. She's like, and the world isn't collapsing. Even she's surprised that the canon event isn't happening, even though he broke the canon in their world. He should have been a captain, and then he should have died.
Hobie told them?
I think Hobie did tell him. See, I don't think Hobie told him to quit, but I think he did tell him about like what his daughter's been up to and like how he should talk to her, and gave him the watch, because at the end he's like, "Oh, your friend left this for you, right?" So I think Miguel is lying about a lot of things, and he's leaving a lot of details out. You think
he's lying about the integrity of the canon?
Yes.
Do you think just because a few spider people experience those events, he's like, well it wouldn't be fair to those spider people, so not everybody got to do it?
I just think that with spider people, tragedy will always happen. That's how every spider person is written, and that's how it's always going to be. But I don't think it is canon. I think that when you experience tragedy, it makes you a more like responsible person. It makes you more adult, and you have to go through that, I guess, to be a Spider-Man. But I don't think it's necessary. I think you can learn from mentors and things like that, where you can learn these things without having to experience such tragedy. Yeah. And I think it's bullshit. I think Miguel is lying by a lot of shit.
He a liar.
Yeah, I don't believe. And not also that there's a video game that I played a long time ago called Spider-Man Edge of Time.
Yeah. He would be on Miles' team.
Yeah, so that Spider-Man specifically tells that version of 2019. By the way, where the fuck are all the other Miguels? It's only one of him. He's a bitch, bro. He's like, I'm not recording. I'm not. What is it?
Bringing in
any other Miguel O'Hara's because he knows that some of them are gonna disagree with him, and they all have the same power set as him, and he'll get rocked. But whatever.
They probably would all disagree with him. Like, yo,
not all of them. Some of them are kind of shitty like him, but most of them wouldn't. Like the video game version of him, when in the game Edge of Time, when Spider-Man is like, listen, it doesn't matter if it's.
I know the scene.
Like. This person is supposed to die in the timeline. If you're Spider-Man and you can help someone, it's your duty to save that person, exactly. Or else you're not worthy of being called Spider-Man.
Like, and if you don't get that,
then you're not Spider-Man. Exactly, and that's one of the best. And to me, like that is quintessential Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. If you can save someone and you have the power to save someone, that's the whole point of great power comes great responsibility. Your job is to save that person.
But also brings up the contrary point of what Spider-Ham said in the first movie. Mm. He said, "You can't always save everyone."
Correct.
And I think that's the lesson that Miguel is trying to enforce, like, forcefully.
Yes.
Like, you can't save everybody.
Correct.
But then that Spider-Man you were talking about, he's like, you could try.
But that's what I'm saying.
You could try.
Some Spider-Man have the mentality of, like, yes, I can't save anyone, but I'm going to try my best.
Do my best.
Exactly. And then there's people like
and
Miguel.
He's like,
nah, not worth it. And that's, to me, those aren't real Spider-Man.
Don't waste the webs, bro.
Yeah, it's not, to me, those aren't real Spider-Man. Spider-Man will put his life on the line every time to save people, whether that is someone he loves or someone he doesn't know. Okay. That's the whole point of being a hero to me.
Yeah.
At least Spider-Man.
That's the point of being Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Is that you try.
That's why I fuck with it. And
you try and try and try, even if you get beat down, and then you just get up.
Which is weird, because usually it's I don't know if you read comics or even...
No, I've been watching TikToks about comics.
2099 before this film. Did you even know about him or no?
I only knew about him through... I saw a YouTube video about a specific comic book that he was in, and I was like, "Oh,
and then like the end credit scene of the last,
and the end credit scene, and then the suit that we get in Spider-Man PS4. I was like, "Oh, this is cool. Let me go like YouTube some stuff about this guy." So I thought, and then is he Mexican?
Yes, he's Mexican and
like
Irish.
in comic books.
Yes, Mexican and
so I was
Irish.
like, so when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
I love his character in the in the comic books and in some of the video games.
Yo, you good?
Sorry, because. He's a lot like the other Spider-Man. He's quippy, he's funny, but he's real. Like he kills his villains whenever they get too crazy. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have spider sense, so when he fights, it's all heightened like senses.
His
like,
awareness.
Yeah, he can't climb walls, so he uses his talons. Mm-hmm. And he has organic webbing, and his like things actually can cut and poison people. Like he has really cool powers, but he's not always the brooding like. Batman of which they made him in Spider-Verse, which is weird because most of the times when his version of Miguel's versions of
this story doesn't work if he is.
That's what I'm saying.
The traditional.
But they could have used someone else who is also like his brother Gabriel is the Batman, and he wears the 2099 suit whenever Miguel is like I think it's sick one of his runs. But they use Miguel, and Miguel's the quippy like funny one. So it was weird seeing him because if you play other games with him in it. He's the funny, quippy one. He's like, messing around, like, I'm funny and Hispanic.
I'm funny and Hispanic.
But in this game, they made him Batman, Hispanic Batman.
Which is cool.
It is cool. I like
that a lot. Okay, so, canon event for Miles that he's trying to avoid. The whole spiel of this whole movie, second, at least Act 2 and Act 3, that his dad is going to die. Saving a child.
You know what's crazy is that, like, I was wondering that in the whole first film. Because I've known Miles' story since it's been written, and I played the game, and even in the game,
he loses his mom, right?
No, he loses his dad.
His dad. So where does he lose his mom?
He loses his mom in the comic.
In the comic,
yeah.
Okay. And so now, he's got you got two choices.
But I've known that I was like,
he's gotta lose somebody.
I was like, he's gonna lose his parent in the first film, and then he loses his uncle. And I'm like, yeah, so what?
Okay, that canon event is your Uncle Ben.
Like, yeah, exactly. Right? I'm like, but you're still supposed to lose a parent because in every version of Miles, he loses a parent, and I'm like, oh, they didn't kill his dad. They didn't kill his mom. Cool. And then I played the PS5 version. I was like, they're gonna kill a parent, aren't they? And then they killed the parent, and I was like, damn. But yeah, it's crazy that this version of Miles has both his parents, and that's his canon, man. He's trying to prevent his dad.
He's trying to prevent his dad from dying. The Spot.
Yeah.
How did they make that guy a horror icon?
Bro,
that's crazy.
What a great villain, bro. I was like, really? The Spot? Like when they announced it, like I was like, the Spot, bro.
I didn't know,
really?
bro. That's why I don't read comics. So I like being surprised.
And then they wrote him so good.
And his voice is so like funny.
It's
like
is
a
it
Spider-Man.
the guy who voices Cusco?
I think so. You know why? Because I was just
The blonde guy who voices Cusco. I forget his name.
I don't have internet for some reason.
I got you.
But
I'll
his voice actor was not matched up to his character, right? Because it's like, oh, he's funny, and then the voice makes you think, oh, he's not a serious guy. Like they don't take him seriously.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I've never heard of this man.
His voice is funny as fuck. But
no, that's a little dog. It was a little cartoon dog. That wasn't him. It is Oliver Murdhead. Yeah, I've never heard of this guy.
I don't know. But
great
when they make his character not white and black, but black and white now, I was like, oh shit, there's some fucked up shit.
He's filled with holes now.
They bought no, he got infinite holes.
Yeah, that's why he's black.
What?
Like he was all white before it had dots.
Okay.
Dots, but then he's all black.
Okay.
Because he's filled with holes.
Okay, I get it.
There's no blank spaces.
I get it now. I get it. So, this is what I think. We've got three choices really for canon events.
Yeah.
How Miles is gonna lose somebody close to him. It's supposed to be a police captain, right? That's the official canon event. He loses a police captain close to him.
Yep. And
that makes him tougher. I don't know what the purpose of that is.
I don't know.
But
tragedy.
Now we have, in the comics, we have him losing his mom, right? Yep. That's a choice. Option 1.
You're right. They do call her Ghost Spider in a lot of the credits.
Ghost Spider in the credits, yep. And then we have losing his dad, the police captain. That's option 2. But here is the third option.
That's him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I saw it when I was doing...
It took me a while, but I found it. It's Jason Schwartzman. Well, go ahead, keep going.
What are you looking up?
I'm trying to see what else he's been in, but keep going.
No, I'm gonna let you do this. I want to get your attention.
You got it?
No, you don't.
Oh, he's Gideon. Scott Pilgrim. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah, he is in Scott Pilgrim. Yeah,
the main villain.
That's
the one with the glasses.
Yep. Anyway, third option. I think we got to put Peter B. Parker's name there in the table of people dying.
Oh no, I love that character. He's like my favorite version of like Peter.
Peter Parker. Yeah. Happy Peter Parker finally.
Like in that movie, because I still think PS4 Peter is chef's kiss, bro. He's so good. But Peter B. Parker's great.
OG face or new face? Or does it matter too?
OG face is the best, but
so
the character.
The spot has given us a foreshadowing of what's going to happen.
You saw the scene.
The building.
Did you see the scene with all the spider people dead?
No.
What?
What scene?
So when he turns all black and he's like I'm gonna go visit you at home or some shit, and there's like flashes. In one of the flashes, it's him standing over a bunch of dead spider people.
That's crazy.
And I was like, whoa.
That's crazy as fuck. I was talking about the building where when he first becomes like the new spot where he's like it's him and Spider-Man India's life together. Like their captain's running to save somebody and then dying, and then Miles not understanding what that means, right?
And she's like, no, don't go.
And then the second time, that's fucked up. The second time he foreshadows that, right? He shows us him collapsing a building, and then it's his dad like by himself running to go do it.
Switching back and forth.
So this is how. So I think that building scene is gonna happen. We're gonna see that he's gonna collapse the building, and somebody's gonna make a save for that child, right? Because all the Spider-Man thing, like we said earlier. You can't save everybody, but you could try, right? That's the philosophy of Spider-Man. You could try, you do your best, try your best. So I think this is how we lose Peter B. Parker.
No.
In this scene, that scene specifically.
I'd be really sad.
But
that is a good scene. If we do lose him, it'd be a great. Like he still has a canon event, right? He loses someone really dear to him, but then he still gets to keep his dad.
Yeah.
And then in their universe, they will still have a Spider-Man because Mayday.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be her canon event too. We get 2 for 1. Let's go.
See, look, you don't need writer strike. Hire Nando, bro.
This is what I'm thinking. Okay, somehow
a writer.
Earth 42 Miles and Uncle Aaron are on Miles' Earth. Like, come with him.
I don't think they're gonna help him.
I don't think they're gonna beat his ass. I don't think Miles is gonna beat their ass and then leave him there. Right? I think they're gonna like talk it out after.
Other?
Yeah, talk about.
He's
like, you gotta help me save my dad. Like, come on.
I feel like they're gonna fight a little bit. And then once Miles gets his ass kicked, he'll be like, you know what?
It's going to be like Civil War.
I'll help you save your dad because I wasn't there to help save my dad or something.
And I think the catalyst of convincing Prowler Miles is going to be Uncle Aaron because they both have this overwhelming guilt of like not being able to patch things out between each other before each of them died. Right? In the first one, we lost Uncle Aaron and his dad. You can see he has regret of not being able to patch things up with his brother.
Yeah.
And in this one, you could definitely tell when he hears that his brother's alive, there's like a subtle like change in his face
of the
like,
other Aaron. Yeah, he's like, oh what?
Shit. Yeah, like there's something triggering in his brain. It's like, I can see my brother.
Alive,
like there's somewhere out there my brother is alive.
He's alive, yes.
And so I think he'll be the catalyst of like getting like guys, we gotta save my brother.
Yeah, like I agree.
Like give us like the closure that we never got.
Do you think that this Aaron is as like tech savvy and as good as the Aaron that we had in the interview? Like, do you think this Aaron Davis was the Prowler and trained Miles to be the Prowler, or do you think Miles was always a Prowler in the other universe?
I think he trained him.
Okay.
Because I think that's where the storyline would have gone if our Miles never gotten bit.
You're probably right.
So I think this is how the tragedy happens. Okay. So we established that all three of them are back on Miles' Earth. So Miles, Prowler Miles, and Aaron. Yeah. I think that building scene happens. It's starting to collapse. There's a child there. And I think Aaron pushes Miles' dad out of the way. But since they're on a different Earth, right? What happens when you're on a different Earth?
You
glitch, right? And usually that glitch pauses you there.
If he has a...
No, I don't think they'll go that way.
Because Gwen built... No, I guess...
No, I mean, because Hobie built it. He only built one.
No! He must have built more.
No, because
they got the band together.
Yeah, but they have their own. They have their own. Like they're in the society.
You're right. So they all are part of the society.
Only Gwen's is like turned offline. And
I guess you're right.
And we know.
Hobie gave his away.
Listen. Okay, so
he
built two.
He must have.
So Issa Rae's Spider Woman. Yeah. She saw Gwen trying to get the band back together, right?
Yeah.
But since I think the line that hit her the most was like, we're supposed to be the good guys, right? You see an audible change in her face.
That's most of the Spider-Man. So, when he said that line, they were all like, oh, fuck, he right.
And so I don't think she's going to tell Miguel about like her getting the bands back together, right? Okay, so I don't think Miguel knows to like, hey, call somebody to turn off the braces, right? Because she immediately got sent back and she immediately tried to pop back over there. And she's like,
AI already turned her shit
done,
off.
She's done. So that's what I think that's how we keep the characters like being able to transfer to the different Earths, right? So I think Uncle Aaron glitches, and usually when you glitch, you fucking fall down, and you're like,
stop whatever you're doing.
Yeah, so he doesn't have the chance to move out of the way of the building.
So then the Spider-Man
and I think Peter B. Parker comes in, swoops in, saves him, gets caught in something because
we not have Mayday in his chest or anything, bro.
See, this is where the thing happens. Okay, so he saves Uncle Aaron, right? Miles gets his canon event, losing Peter B. Parker. With his dad.
Real quick. At the end of this movie, did he have Mayday on him?
He did.
What an idiot, bro!
Listen,
no.
This comes into the ending that I have planned out in my head.
All right.
That I'll be disappointed. Obviously, it's not gonna happen.
Probably will.
But I put he swoops in, saves a day, dying along the way. And I said then everybody is sad, including Miguel. And then we have a scene where he has to bring Mayday back to Mary Jane. Knowing that
his
Peter B. Parker probably talked to her every single day, like how are we gonna how do we like help Miles? How do we like fix this without doing it Miguel's way? There's got to be a better way because again he's hopeful now, right? Yeah. He's happy now. He's trying to do this right, so he's got to bring Mayday back to Mary Jane.
Miles is basically his kid.
Yeah. He raised his first kid. Yeah. His first kid. So he's got to bring Mayday back to Mary Jane, and then Mary Jane is like, quote. If he told you there was another way and you just refused to listen, and then boom, like that's like where it ends. Like he told you there could be another way, you refuse to listen, and this is the consequences. Leaving Miguel with like this like fucking crazy guilt of like what happened, giving him like a
redemption arc.
Like a redemption arc to the future.
On.
Like this is your canon event, Miguel. This is not only Miles' canon event.
A better Spider-Man.
Now you have to be a better Spider-Man because there was a better way that you just refused to listen to, and now we lost a great Spider-Man. Now Mayday has to grow up without a mentor, pretty much. Yeah. Without her dad, who already she's got these crazy abilities as a child, and so I think this.
And looks up to him because she's climbed and swings and shit just like her dad.
And it comes down,
and she's happy as hell when she's in the chase. Like she's enjoying every part of it.
So I think we get that scene where Mary Jane gives him like this like. Just two sentence sentence just like there was a better way and you just refused to listen. This is what happened, and now he has to live with that. Not only did he lose his child that he had in this alternate universe, right? Yeah. And then fucking Peter B. Parker kept like, hey, look at my baby, look at it, knowing this man has lost a child, right? Which I think was fucked up, right? But
that's funny as hell. And he was there when he lost the kid.
Yeah,
he should know better.
He should know better. But I think that's how we kind of end the third movie, right? Miles gets his canon event. The Spider
Mayday
people. Mayday gets her canon event.
Miguel gets his canon event.
His canon. Oh, the same person. Same person, right? Because that would be losing like a best friend. Because he was there at his worst moment in life, right? But now Miguel, I think this is how we redeem him. He now has to be a better Spider person. Yeah. Right? Forcefully.
Then maybe we could see comic version of Miguel. Because if you watch the original one and you see him in the end credit scene, that's Miguel. Like the way that Oscar Isaac plays him in that scene, that's how he is in the comic books. Like the
when he's
pointing
like,
and laughing.
Hey, and they're hopping.
Yeah. That's Miguel in the comic books. He's funny, but he's also very dangerous and he's very like serious.
But I think
in this one they just flipped it because Miguel, of that tragic ass thing that he got.
I think that Miguel that we saw
him,
then fucked up and then became the Miguel we saw. I think that's the only reason.
Because like you see him mad happy in the like little thing and then he undoes it and then he's mad like serious and I'm like, oh, it makes sense. That would be a great ending though. But I hope it doesn't happen because I don't want to lose Peter B.
I don't want to lose Peter B either. But I think that'll be the best catalyst.
That would be
we get 3 canon events for 3 different people, pretty much with the one person. So
works the best.
And again, I don't know. I don't think Peter
spoilers,
deserves
by
it.
the way. Did you say spoilers at the top?
I said it. I'm like, we're gonna go crazy.
I'm like, we've spoiled so much at this point.
I mean, I told them we gave them like a week to go ahead and do what they got to do. But
if you haven't watched this film, please go watch it.
Yeah, you should be on your like second watch by now.
By the way, it's getting beat by Transformers. What?
Because Transformers debuted this week.
Oh. It's not that good. I watched it.
I'll have to go watch it. Well, my aunt wants to go watch it.
I watched it.
Okay. So I take my mom and my aunt to the movies, and then be like,
I take myself. I'm so lonely.
No family.
All right, bro. Next question.
Okay. One of my last few questions. Okay. Do you have any theories for the next movie?
I think we just did that.
No. But do you have any specific theories?
I think what you were saying. I think Miles is on the bag. He's gonna hit one of those like, you should watch my hands, not my mouth, like Peter did, and then beat his ass up. And I think he's gonna recruit him to be like, hey, listen, like, as much as we're different, it is our dad. Like, he's gonna die if we don't do anything. I think Uncle Aaron is gonna be the one to like convince the other Miles, because it seems like he did have a good relationship with his dad, but it's been so long since he passed that it doesn't really. He's like, that's not my dad. Like, I don't care. Like, I was raised by my mom, and you can tell because he speaks differently.
Yeah, his Spanish accent is like,
and his voice actor is Dominican.
Dominican Spider-Man, let's go.
Like,
and there's callbacks.
They brought it back.
He's like, they say he's Puerto Rican. I think he's Dominican.
What's funny is when I first watched that scene, I had like the biggest grin on my face because I was like, that's so sick.
Bro, that's
and then when I watched it with my friends, they said that they all were like, and they all looked at me and I was like, nice.
Bro, that's the Gwen Stacy aspect of it. The representation matters.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's so much fun. So I think that he'll recruit them to go save his dad, and I don't know how they're gonna beat the Spot, bro. It seems like he's kind of all powerful.
Spot is OP, bro.
He kind of seems all powerful right now, so I don't know what they can do to beat him. So I don't know. That's up to the writers.
J. Jonah Jameson is like, Spider-Man's a menace.
The Spot's a menace.
Spot's a menace, bro.
But yeah, I don't know. I want what I want to see. I want to see more Spider people. There's a few of them that they didn't use that I wish they did. Like, I want to see Silk. She's one of the best characters. I want to see her come into the story. I want to see Miguel be a better Miguel, like you said. I want to see that in the next film. I want to see him use his new suit.
Because you see it in the background being made.
Yeah, the white one. Yeah. That one's really cool.
Dope ass suit.
I want to see other Mileses, bro. Like, besides the 2 that we got in the film, I want to see other Spider-Man Miles, because there's a lot of them. Just like there's a lot of Peters, but they don't use them. And I want to see where they go with the relationship between Gwen and Miles, because it seems like I love their relationship. Like, when they first meet and they're swinging together, I was like, oh, like, my heart. So cute. Yeah, I was like, my heart, and they're like sitting together and they're watching the sunset, and
like,
I'm
yo, I didn't meet a Gwen, bro.
I was like, this is so fucking
Step 1,
cute.
get some spider powers.
But then, like, by the end of the film, when they're like, I guess, butting heads and they're upset with each other, and he's like, nah, like, I don't want your help. Like, let me do it myself. No, I was like, damn.
When he broke that web off, I was like, tough.
Yeah, I was like, that is tough.
I was like, a lot of men would not break that web off.
But I want to see their relationship grow to be more mature, and I want to see
that's their canon event for the relationship.
I want to see them like actually interact like
a couple,
not a couple, but
as kids trying to figure out they're a couple.
How do I put it? Like
partnerships.
I want to see her like embrace his culture and vice versa. Because it's something that I think a lot of movies have a problem with when it comes to other cultures, is that they put, this is our culture, this is your culture, we'll never get along type shit. And it's like, yeah, it's funny. It's very funny. A lot of the scenes where she's like doesn't speak Spanish or they don't understand each other's culture, it's very funny. Like, oh, the white girl is in a party. I want to see her embrace the fact that, oh, he's Hispanic and she wants to learn how to speak Spanish and she wants to like do Hispanic things. Because a lot of the times that's what happens when you date someone out of your culture, you embrace their culture and vice versa. I want to see that version of them. So I want to see Miles speak more Spanish, because in a lot of versions there are times where he speaks very good Spanish. Sometimes he doesn't speak that very good Spanish. Sometimes he's a no sabo kid. And sometimes he's like fluent as hell. Yeah. Like in the comics, he speaks a lot of Spanish because no one has to voice him.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just writing, and he speaks a lot of Spanish to his mother. But in the game and in the movie, he's like okay at Spanish. Like he's like all right. Like he speaks some type of Spanish, and I love this. I want to see Miles and Miguel speak more Spanish to each other and like have Hispanic interactions, because they have one
Spanish
about
like,
empanada, and then they're like upset at each other.
Like,
and I'm like, why did you toss it, bro?
I'm like, and then Hobby gets to eat it, and I was like, clutch.
So I want to see a lot of that type of stuff in the film. Story wise, I don't know. I'm not a writer. I'm sitting there to get entertained, and I just want to see certain characters. I want to see certain story points. I want to see characters develop, things like that. But specifics, story wise, I don't know, man. Whatever they can come up with. Hopefully it's good.
Okay. Last thing. Rank the spider people from 1 to 10.
Okay.
I'm going to give you one.
Why don't you do yours first?
No, because I have the list already. And I don't
you have your list?
No, but like I made the list. So
you have the names of all the Spider-Men?
Of 10.
Oh.
Of 10 spider people.
Okay.
People. Hey, Braden.
My bad.
10 spider
I mean, in the movie, they'd be like Spider-Man, and even the ladies are like, yeah, and they answer to it. So don't play with me.
Spider people. All right?
Whatever.
And then, so I'm going to give you a name, and then you give me a number.
Okay.
1 through 10.
Go for it.
We're going to start off hot. Spider-Punk.
2.
2? Damn.
Hobie is great, bro. I love Hobie.
2?
We didn't even speak about it. Hobie is the GOAT, by the way.
Okay, give us your like...
Real quick, do you think Hobie hit?
Hobie had to hit, bro. She wearing his shoes, bro.
Wearing his shoes, left her toothbrush.
Her jumper?
And her jumper at his crib.
Bro, he definitely smashed.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. Hobie's gay.
What?
Hobie is gay.
In
the comic books, he's gay.
Oh, no.
So
he probably bi.
He could be bi in this world, but usually in the comics, he's gay.
Bro, no way fucking Spider-Man India is like, does he know about Hobie? Like, what Miles got to know about Hobie, bro?
That is true, but in the comics,
it's only been 2 months.
He's usually gay, and it seems to me that he was just letting her, because they are in a band together. He calls her drummer a lot. He's like, oh, my drummer. So it seems like they practice music together, and it seems like she's just been homeless since the event in the beginning of the film. So she just goes to universes and chills at places. So I think because she just frequented his universe the most, she just crashed there. Because in the comic books, he is gay. He doesn't have interest in women.
He hit, bro.
But in the movie, he could have hit. I don't think he did.
Smashed.
He seems way too nice to Miles to have hit.
I think that's why he's nice to Miles, because he took his.
He helps out Miles a lot. But yeah, Hobie's number 2 for me. Spider-Punk.
He had to hit.
That's number 2 for me.
Spider-Man 2099.
I'm gonna put him at a current 2099 5.
Oh, I was gonna put 10 for you. I thought you were gonna be like
number 5.
Gwen Stacy, Spider-Woman, so Spider-Ghost.
4.
Okay, top 5. Peter Parker with Mayday, so both.
Peter B?
Yeah, Peter B with Mayday together, because they were together the whole film.
Peter B is 3.
3?
Peter B is 3.
Our Miles that we saw. 1, top tier.
Miles will always be 1 for me.
Spider-Man India.
6? They should have used him more. He was so good when he was introduced, and then they don't use him for the rest of the film. And I'm like, ah. But then they show him at the end, so we're definitely going to see more of him. But yeah, I want more of him.
Issa Rae, Spider-Woman.
Fuck her. 10.
The worst one.
It's not that she's the worst. It's just that, like I had so much for her. I'm like, you're the only black woman in this, and you're letting them treat Miles like this, bro? Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, why are you such a dick writer? She's such a dick writer for Miguel. It's insane. Like, it's like he's the dad of her kid.
You might be.
She's such a dick writer for him. I'm like, why are you always agreeing with him, bro? And then she's like, I can help you, Gwen. I'm like, y'all spent so much time to get training, and you can't. bend the rules a little bit. Like, you're such a dick rider.
At the end.
Nah, she a dick rider, bro.
All
10.
Right, damn, bitch. Damn.
She should have been better, bro.
Yo, she gotta fix her life. All right, Scarlet Spider, which is Ben Reilly, the brooding emo Spider-Man.
9. He's fine. I don't care. I like the actual. I don't like this Ben Reilly. Ben Reilly in the comic books is a beast. And then the one after him, the black and red suit, Kane, that motherfucker crazy. I want to see him in the next one. He's 2099 on crack. He's the Spider-Man. He don't give up. He murders people. He don't care.
Okay. Spider-Bite.
She's okay. 8?
Do you have an 8?
No, I have a 9 and a 10.
So far you've got 1, 2, 3,
Have you
4,
been writing
5, 6.
I didn't say 6, did I?
No, I'm saying the rankings you've given. You gave Spider-Man India 6.
Oh yeah, right.
So you've got Miles at 1, Spider-Punk at 2, Peter Parker with Mayday at 3.
Okay.
Gwen Stacy at 4, 2099 at 5, Spider-Man India 6. You don't have a 7.
Okay.
You have 8, 9, and 10.
Okay. 8, 9, and 10.
So.
What was the next one?
So I have 2 choices that you can go with.
Spider-Bite.
No,
right?
Spider-Bite, yeah, you put at 8.
9.
You put it at 8.
Who's at 9?
Scarlet Spider.
Yeah.
So you have 2 choices for this last one, okay?
Okay. So I have 7 and 8.
Yeah, you could go with Spider-Ham.
I love
That's
him.
my favorite Spider-Ham.
They didn't use him.
He's at the end. We saw him at the end.
Yeah, I wanted him so bad. I was like, "Where's John Mulaney, bro? Where's he at? I want him so bad."
He was in rehab when they were doing this stuff.
Oh, is that why he wasn't in the film?
Yeah. He was in rehab for like a year and some
sorry.
change. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Never mind.
He had a real bad
Hope
cocaine addiction.
your recovery's great, bro.
No, he was on Theo Vaughn's podcast. He's good.
He's good.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So you could go with Spider-Ham and put him at 7, or your own personal favorite mentioned.
They didn't do Noir either. Nicolas Cage. They didn't bring him back.
But
he's at the end. Also, Penny. They brought her back
and she looked so depressed.
Yeah, her canon of it is nuts.
Yeah, no.
Her canon.
They violate the shit out of her. If you a spider person, you can't be happy in your life.
That's what I'm saying, bro. They're so tragic. I guess I'd put Spider-Ham 7.
Or your own personal favorite that we haven't mentioned at all today. Do you have a...
I do. Spider-Plush 8.
Spider-Plush?
Yeah.
Spider-Plush at 7? So Spider...
No, Ham is 7. Plush is 8.
No. You only got 1 slot left.
I had 2.
No, you put Spider-Bite at 8.
Fuck her. Get her off my list.
She was in the list that I made.
She didn't...
So you gotta choose between Spider-Ham or Spider-Plush at 7.
Damn. Ham.
Ham? All right.
Plush he's a great meme. I love him, and I love that he was running around with that, but he didn't really do nothing. Ham is great.
Bro, you saw how somebody yeeted him towards Miles' dope, and they're like, yo, he going for the kill right now.
I love Spider-Plush, bro.
Oh, my God. It makes me want to get one of those.
Yeah, they sell them, I'm going to get one.
I'm going to get one for sure.
What do you think his canon event was?
I sent it to you, bro.
Oh, you did!
Oh my God! Open your phone.
So
we gotta go through it.
I remember.
We gotta explain it. We gotta explain it. No, go through the slides.
It was a little sick.
I know.
Uncle Ben, right? But he wasn't an uncle. He was a little boy.
We gotta go through the slides, bro. Those shit was tragic. That shit was tragic as fuck. I'm like, yo, why am I sobbing? Like I was fucking crying.
I found it.
All right, take off the music. We don't get copyrighted. Okay, so go through the first slide.
It was his birthday.
Yep.
And he chose me, which is a little Ben kid. And it says his name was Ben. We were best friends. I looked out for Ben, and so did they, his parents.
Yep.
Until I couldn't.
Oh my God, Spider-Man's in the window.
Ben was sick.
Yeah.
There was nothing we could do. And he's little by the window. So in that moment when I lost Ben,
it goes beep 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 beep.
He began to move, and I realized it was a leap of faith.
Show the camera. Bro, he fucking witnessed his child. That chose him die of some kind of disease.
Yep.
His name was Ben, and then he was sad, and then he started moving, and he realized that
and he got recruited.
He needed to be Spider-Man to I guess another child.
Probably
that was his life journey, but his canon event was losing child Ben. Mm-hmm. And so that, I don't know, bro, with the music and the fucking slides, I was like, damn,
we didn't even talk about that. The soundtrack for this film is nuts.
Yo,
it's so
I don't know how
good.
you put back-to-back good soundtracks.
Yeah.
But I think
I thought for sure the second one wouldn't have been as good as the first one, but it was just
my
as good.
only criticism, when we talked about this earlier, was the fact that they keep getting these spider quotes, like, in the actual music.
Yeah.
I'm like drop...
the songs outside of the film. Like, I don't mind them in the film.
Yeah.
But outside of the film, if I'm listening to the music, don't put dialogue in
I'm
there,
like, bro, drop another version with no fucking spider people talking. Because, like,
I don't need to hear that every time I hear the phone.
I'm trying to blast fucking
self-love
fucking over and over, and then it breaks my fucking like chain.
Gwen's talking to me.
Because Gwen's talking. Oh my god. What would you rate this movie? And that's not on my list, but I'm just curious on what you would rate it.
Critically or like biasly?
What would you rate it night 1? What would you rate it night 2? Because the first time
night 1 is biased.
Yeah,
10.
exactly. 10 out of 10, right?
Yeah, it was like hitting every cylinder. I was happy. I walked out of the film like smiling, like grinning ear to ear. Yeah, like I was happy as hell. Second time, like a 9. Mm-hmm. I could drop the point and be like, oh, there's some things that I didn't like. But
it's not perfect, you know.
But
I would agree.
Such a good film, bro. Oh my god, like it's very. You have to be nitpicky if you want to start being like, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. You have to be really nitpicky.
The people that relate to Hobie, like his attitude and his personality, would probably give it like a 7 or 8, simply because of Mayday. They're like, oh, get that baby out of here. Like,
but even Hobie,
I know, but I'm like, yo, why are you hating? Like, Hobie loved Mayday. Like,
he was like, yo, you're like,
he's like taking a crap on the establishment.
He's like, I
salute you. That shit was the funniest thing.
I love Hobie, bro. And the guy who voices him did so well.
Yeah,
I love. This is probably my favorite version of Spider-Punk because I've read the comic books and he's a menace, bro. He kills his villains too. He don't care.
Maybe that's the common.
You know what's cool? Hobie Brown is actually the Prowler.
Oh yeah,
which is a really cool connection that in the 616 universe, Hobie Brown was the Prowler at one point before it became Aaron Davis, and that in Spider-Punk's universe, Hobie Brown never becomes a Prowler. He gets bitten and becomes Spider-Man. So it's really cool that Miles is connecting with another version of Prowler, which originally was his uncle.
Maybe that's why he has a
weird connection to him.
Yeah. Maybe he knows. Maybe he's like, hey, you should have been Prowler. I should have been Prowler.
And we're both Spider-Man.
We're fucking homies.
Yeah, I guess you're right, yeah. But, yeah, this is my favorite version of Spider-Punk so far.
Oh, man, I could talk about Spider-Punk all day.
He's great.
All day, every day.
What's your list? You didn't even give me your list.
Well,
what's your 1 to 10?
Well, but I feel like I couldn't give you a genuine list if I knew the answers ahead of time. You know, like, because, you know, the point of this was, like, I give them to you one by one.
Well, I don't care. Just give me
All right, let me look up the...
But don't, once you put a number, you can't rearrange.
Oh, my God.
Just look at the names, put numbers to it, but once you hit a number, like don't change it.
Okay, I'm going to just go down the list. Okay. I would keep Spider-Punk at 2.
Okay.
But for Spider-Man 2099, I would put at 6.
6. So 1 lower than 5. Yeah. Okay.
So I'll put I'm gonna write them in. 6. Gwen Stacy Spider-Man, I'm putting at a 9.
Oh,
fucking she betrayed my boy like that, bro.
You dropped it to a 9.
No, I took that shit personally, bro. I was like, yo, fuck that bitch. I took that shit very personally. Miles Morales, I'll put at a 3.
Okay. Top 3, not bad.
Top 3. I'd put Peter Parker with Mayday at 1. So I
really?
switched them.
3? Even
I switched them. I switched yours.
Bro, the scene where he like, nah, I'm gonna
do my own thing.
That scene is so good, bro.
For me, it's just...
That hit it to a 1 to me. He was like...
Because Miles don't look like me. I don't connect with him.
I guess you're right.
No, but it was because how badly the first Peter that died, the blonde one...
Yeah.
He died and then Miles became Spider-Man. Yeah. And then Peter had to like realize that he's dead and he had that connection with him. I think just overall, like, my connection with any Peter Parker is big because I loved like the first Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
and and I felt like me and my mom went to see day 1 Spider-Man like at the movie theaters. But before, like, you know, did you ever realize that now when you reserve seats, like that's your seat, right?
Yeah, back then
you had to buy a ticket, show up, and then hopefully find a good seat. I had to tell that to my sister after we watched it with our cousins. Like, hey, do you remember?
Was she lived in a time where that didn't happen?
No, my sister lived in a time where it was just reserved seats.
Oh, that's crazy.
We had to explain that to her. I was like, yo, you have to show up early as fuck.
I feel so old now.
You show up early as fuck, buy your ticket, wait in line, and then hopefully get a good ass seat.
You have to show up early, especially for big movies.
Exactly.
You get the shitty like front row, breaking your neck seats.
Yeah.
I remember those times.
So me and my mom did that for Spider-Man 1. So she loved Peter Parker. She loved Tobey Spider-Man. Yeah. She loves all Peter Parker. She just loves Spider-Man. And then she's like. She started crying when we saw Into the Spider-Verse when Peter died. Yeah, I was like, damn, that's crazy. I'm like, that shit is sad as fuck. And my sister's like,
because that Peter was a good Peter.
Yeah, he was very. Like, he was willing to train Miles too.
Every time they put him in a scene, he was just at 100.
Yeah.
While he's talking to Miles, doing everything, he's like, "Oh, what's up, bro? Like, I got you. Let me just finish this real quick."
Bro, when he was fighting Prowler, he was holding back the whole time.
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
When that collider thing was spinning, he
like,
stops it. Just like immediately.
One hand. Then I'm like. This Peter's a beast.
And he springs out the way.
So yeah, I see what you're... And if you think about it, if he was still alive, he probably would have been the leader of the Spider Society. He seemed like the best Spider-Man
version of Spider-Man. Yeah. So I have Peter Parker with Mayday at 1, and I got Miles at 3. So I switched your order.
Peter B is pretty great.
I still think Miles Morales is top tier. Yeah, okay, so I got him in top 3, but Spider-Punk is just on another level.
I get you. I get it. Spider-Punk is great.
So now, Spider-Man India. So I've got 1, 3, 6, 9, 2. I'm gonna put him at 4.
Okay.
I just feel like he was
India 4.
He was like,
really.
Yeah.
He's great, but he doesn't have that much scenes.
No, but I feel like he was trying to like he's like, are they gonna get together? Are they not gonna get together? The tension in here, how are you focusing? Yeah. That for me, I'm like, bro, you making it mad hot for them. Like they obviously know something's going, like they just touched shoulders like 3 scenes before, so.
He is like the hype man of the group. Yeah.
I agree with you.
I love the way he swings.
Oh yeah,
like
because he has that little thing.
And stuff. Yeah, which he doesn't in the comics. Like that's purely original.
Brand new?
Yeah, cool. It's so sick.
So I put Issa Rae's Spider-Woman at 10 too.
Fuck okay, I thought you could. I was like, yo, if you put
bro, I'm not putting her any higher
than 10. I was like, I'm losing my mind. I was like, if you put her higher than Gwen, you're bad, bro.
Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't got a 6. So I'm gonna put Spider-Bite at 7.
Okay, not bad.
I'm gonna go with Spider-Ham at 6.
Okay.
I think we might have to share Scarlet Spider at 9 too. No, I have a 9.
You haven't put 2099 somewhere.
I did.
Oh, you put him at 6.
At 6.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
So I've got 1 Peter Parker, 2 Spider-Punk, 3 Miles, 4 Spider-Man India.
Okay. 5.
I don't have a 5.
Get a 5.
Fine, I fucked this up.
You might have fucked it up.
I fucked it up. So I guess, so you know who's at 5?
Who?
Ben Reilly, Spider-Man.
Damn, really?
See, this is why this list doesn't work when I have to do it. This is why it only works when I'm giving it to you.
It could have worked. You decided to put...
Oh, you should have been the one in front of the laptop.
You want to restart?
No.
Cut all this out.
I'm happy with this shit. This is like,
you gonna put him at 5?
I think he's got good. I think he's gonna be a better
Spider-Man. Devil's advocate because you're listening.
What if he's got potential?
He does have.
He made me laugh.
He did make me
laugh.
The
whole
I
time.
agree. But he was choking about his
I remember
detailed bicep.
Yeah. And then he started flexing it, and it started getting more detailed. And I was like, okay.
He is funny, but I don't think he's 5, bro.
He's definitely not 5. I would have put Spider-Ham at 5, but this is the nature of the job.
The list,
I guess.
yeah.
The list, listing these people off. But I would rate the movie 10 out of 10 on my first watch. Second watch, 9 out of 10. Would agree.
Dropping it every time you watch.
Third watch, I would agree. It's still a 9 out of 10. Okay. Yep. My fourth watch,
8.5.
No, it's still a pretty solid movie, bro. Okay. It's still mad. It's just some things that don't make sense. Like, like what is a canon event? Like, how does it?
I think it's vague on purpose.
A lot of things are can be classified as like lazy writing, but I think it's because of the next one.
Yeah, I think it's.
So that's why I'm holding off on that score. I can agree that the first movie, after time has passed, after the second one,
I think it's a 10 out of 10.
Film. I think it's a 10 out of 10 because of the addition of the new one.
I think back then I used to be like, this is a really good Spider-Man.
I think I'm like, hey, this is like solid 8, 9
movie. And then now that I have this one and I can go back and be like, wow, this was connecting for this and that. And now I'm like, oh, that's a 10. Yeah. Like they wrote all this to be connective and they're vaguely leaving things out so that when you go watch the next one, you're like, oh, you get the same
What
moment.
I like in the first movie is that some of the vague parts that they're leaving out.
Yeah.
At the time,
very important.
No, at the time, didn't seem vague.
Yeah,
it was just like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen with the next one, right? Yeah. This one, there's stuff vague on purpose, and now that like, you can like, all right, maybe that's like in the next one. Yeah. That's gonna be in the next one for sure. Like that's gonna happen. But in the first one, it was like, the things that were very important that we didn't really pick up on or call back on. Came into this movie, I was like, damn, that was
small
done.
Shit like the bagel came back, bro, and I was like, what? I thought that was just a funny scene in the first one.
He hit the spot, bro.
And they made the bagel a whole thing, and I was like, that's
whole
sick.
Story.
Yeah.
So I think the first one did that very well, hiding what was like vague enough to be in a second movie. I think this one is a little bit more out there. It's a little bit more. We can tell what's going to be vague on purpose for the next one or not.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why the first Spider-Man, like now that this one came out, feels like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what the third one comes out with.
How many years did they say?
It says next year.
Next year?
Yeah, but
it's already done.
I saw a tweet where it said that it was delayed until 2025.
Damn.
But I'm not too sure because since everything got delayed and there's people just putting out mad fake shit. So I'm like,
listen, take your time. If you need to wait till the writer strike is done to make a really good film,
but like, what do writers have to do with animating it?
not animating, but writing the film itself.
But like, what if
currently right now, because the writers
they're not gonna start writing after this one is done
because the writers are on strike, the script has to be
the same. You can't make any changes.
You can't improvise, because if you improvise, then they have to write it into the script. And because the writers are on strike, they can't write it into the script, and they can't submit it. So like, let's say in the booth you write you read your lines, but then you want to be like, I want to add a line because I think it would be funny, and then it works, and they're like, oh great, we're gonna use that. Then they have to put it into the script, send it off, get it approved, and they're like, all right, cool, keep it in the film.
Damn.
Like in Deadpool, like a lot of times Ryan Reynolds just says shit, and then he has to go back and rewrite it to the script. They can't do that during a writer's strike because the writers won't put it back into the script. So that's what I'm saying. If you guys gotta wait.
I don't want to wait.
To make it best.
Bro, I'm not trying to wait.
I will wait for the best trilogy of a Spider-Man film I've ever seen. I will wait.
What I'm going to be tight is if we wait because of this writer's strike and it's ass.
No, I feel like if they push it out a year from now and they didn't get to rewrite and do the things that they want and it's ass, I'm gonna
Either
be
way,
upset.
if it's ass, I'm going to be tight as fuck.
Yeah, I'm going to be upset, bro, because the first two were great.
I'm going to blame the writers.
So, hopefully...
I'm talking death threats to their house and shit.
that frickin' thingy-mabobs, the writer strike gets through, and they...
Damn, what the fuck?
And my keys in my...
The whole utility.
I thought we were going to the gym, bro.
Bro, I thought you had a tattoo appointment.
Tomorrow.
Let's talk about... I think we'll transition. This is the end of the episode, and then we'll do like a video mini, because I've been dropping a video mini every couple of weeks. So this is the end of... This was the end of the Spider-Man portion of the episode. Full episode dedicated to Spider-Man. I hope you went to go see it.
I hope you love Spider-Man.
It's an amazing experience to do it by yourself, with friends, with your siblings, your family members, even people who don't watch Spider-Man. I think they'll go out and enjoy it. I do say you should watch the first one. My cousins went into the second one without watching the first one.
No, you need to watch the first one.
But they still liked the second one. They're like, oh my god, I like how they explained everything in the beginning. And so that's why I think the Gwen Stacy part is important.
Yeah.
Not just like, oh, they added that shit for no reason, because I feel like my cousins and my aunt went there without seeing the first one, and they're like, I'm glad they explained a lot of stuff, and I was
good.
I'm like, that's useful. Like I like that's why I'm on the team of like I like the first part.
I didn't mind it. I liked the recap, and I liked the fact that it was like her playing the drums while she was doing it. It was really cool.
But that was this week's IdleTalk, and we will see you for the next one.
Bye.
Peace out.